So now let's imagine you have several different sites to study the biodiversity, and you want to first do the basic analysis. You will check the biodiversity indexes, Simpson, Shannon, etc., Pielou, Evenes. But I will show you an example, okay, with a bit of exaggeration, but I want you to understand. So imagine now you are near the Ngorongoro in Africa, and you have some wild area, quite cool, and around it's full of cattle. So you have very different population. Let's do it together. For example, so you do different transect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but one in a, for example, place which is not into the park, and then you will find cow, you will find pigs, let's say pig, you will find goat on the first, let's put 0 everywhere, hopla, and you will find goat, pig, that's it on the first transect. Then second transect, again you found some cow, you found a pig, you found some maybe not goats, but now you found some dogs. Okay, one dog, so a new species, one, etc., etc. So number 3 you found that, and then in this area, okay, in this area 5, 6, 7, 8, it's another ecosystem, again with a lot of human. You will find the cow, the pig, the goat, the dogs, and but in a different numbers, okay, different density. For example, you will find a lot of cows here, okay, because it's full of cows, and less pigs, goats, but still you found some. Okay, 4 here, 1 here, etc. And you never find other species, new species. But over there, for example, you start to go in a park and you want to compare, and then you start to find elephants, okay, they were never observed before, and here you find 1, 2 elephants, etc., etc. So you understood, and at the end you have something like that. Okay, cow, goats, pigs, dogs, lions, elephants, zebra, gnu. Okay, over exaggeration. Okay, but I want you to check to understand that here you will find the same amount of species, 4. Okay, in this site that I called agro because it's agro system 1. Agro system 2, you will find again the same number of species, 4. Okay, only 4. So 4 and 4. Okay, if you just look at the basic number of species, you will have the same and the same species. But thanks to Simpson, Shannon, Pielou, Evenes, and other indexes of biodiversity, you will see it's a bit different. Okay, like Pielou, it will be close to 0 here because you have a better evenness. Okay, you have a better repartition of the species in your ecosystem, and then in the second site you have a lot of cows comparatively to over there. And now if you compare with another site, now you are in the Ngorongoro, in the it's a volcano in the crateria, then you find totally different species, some lions, elephants, zebra, gnu, and you don't find them. Here you will have also 4 species, and here you have a good evenness of the species too. If you compare park site ecosystem to agro site, this ecosystem, you won't see any differences with my previous analysis that I proposed to you. You will see the same amount of species, 4 versus 4, same index of biodiversity. What will be your conclusion? Oh, I have a similar ecosystem. No, we need to compare also the community. Who is into this community? Which species, and not just the number. And that's why now let's have a look to the ordination of all the species you found in different sites. Okay, so let's keep this data. Okay, we don't care about the pictures. And here I added sites, okay, to show clearly that here we have only one site. This is another site, and this one is another site. And each line, I remind you, it's a transect, observation point, or something that you saw in video no. 1, how to make a biodiversity census. Okay, so I save that as a text for R. Obviously you can do different techniques, but I want to show you simple things. I don't want to add new tricks for you, because obviously in R you have other techniques. You can directly go, if you go on R, you have Excel. You have something with read Excel. You have some library where you can load directly your Excel files. But anyway, here I do the basics because one package every time, not a big mix. Okay, so I will do simple and also with the console, the basic console. Okay, so here control scroll up to show you big letter. I zoom in. Okay. Voila. So here you load your data. Read table Ngorongoro 1 dot text. Okay, this is to load. You can also do 5 choose. If you do 5 choose, I show you Control R and you click directly on what you want to load. And then you have data. I always like to check what I have here, and indeed I've got this transect. Okay. Then a little summary is always good to check. Ooh, you see, like V1, he considers that it's let me check again if I have V1. I prefer. So okay, transect, sites, my species. Here is a matrix. For vegan, you need only the matrix. We'll have to remove this column of information. Okay, so little summary to check that I have only numbers. Median, okay, means perfect. Okay, attach names. I check my title for the columns, all the species. Yeah, transect sites. That's good. Then my data frame will be the data only with the column of species. So it's from column 3 to 10. Again, here I write 10, but there is another way to say until the end. So data frame will be only the column of the species, only the matrix of species. Okay. I don't care. My plan was to show you again biodiversity indexes and etc., but I don't want to mix. So now let me remove that or not. Yes, I remove. Yes. Voila. Then you have to load vegan package. Here I left you extra, okay, information to read about this package. You saw how to do the accumulation curves, how to calculate, to extrapolate how many species you will have. In the previous video, you will directly have a calculation of Simpson, Shannon, and other indexes, diversity indexes. But now let's do an ordination. What is that? I try to explain to you. If it's not clear, please write into the comments. So let's imagine you want to compare what is the difference between this line and these lines according to factor code. Then I have one code here and 0 code here. So imagine if we do a graph with the number of codes. Okay, So unfortunately I have bad axis over there. But imagine it go from 0 to 100. 100 is over there. So you have one dimension with the factor co. And we can see that this side is 1 co here and 0. And comparatively to this one, to this transect, it's 100. So on the factor co, you can already start to do a graduation, a differentiation among your transects. Okay? And now, if we start to do that, and we had another factor, we had another species like the cow and elephants, and we do a graph, you can see that actually it's not really elephant. Elephant will be here. Okay, let me show you elephant. Where are the elephants? We have only 5, 5, 5, 12. So elephants are on this axis. Cow are on this axis. Each point are the transect, and we can start to see the groups. Here, 12, 5 is a group in the park. It's a group of the park with only elephants. On the axis elephant, we can start to see a difference. Here we have a lot of elephants. It's a group over there with the park, and here it's 0. And here we have some cows, and here 0. So we start to have a difference on those two factors, the factor elephant and the factor cow. Imagine in 3 dimensions, we add another species. Look into the little square with me, and then you will start to have a cloud of points different into this cloud due to the elephant, the cow, and let's say the lions. Okay, in 3 dimensions, you start to have a cloud of dots in 3 dimensions, and the 3 dimensions are the species. Now, if we add pig, dogs, etc., we'll add additional dimension, and then we cannot see them anymore. It's a multi-dimensional analysis. You already know some of them, and you know what we can do when we have multi-dimension. We'll crush everything to find the best dimension that can summarize the best Euclidean distance among our points, our dots. Okay, so it's a multidimensional analyze on 2 dimensions. And those 2 dimensions will be the best representation of your multidimensional analysis. Okay, so each species will be a factor. You have several factors, several species, then you will have multidimensional analysis, and you will try to figure out all your dots in those multidimensional clouds. It's what we are going to do here. But first of all, we have to calculate the distance among those dots on all the dimensions. So we'll do a ordination using meta NMDS, meta multidimensional scaling. Let's have a look. And if you want more explanation, please go on my link over there, little links. So ordination, Control R, using meta NMDS, okay, about what data frame DF, this one, and we want to use one distance method. There is several distance methods. If you don't write this one, by default you will have Bray-Curtis distance scaling. Okay, otherwise you have Horn-Moricita, you have Jacquard. You will check, you have several distance method for scaling all your dots. By default, you can click, it will be Bray-Curtis. If you don't know what to use, Bray-Curtis is fine. A lot of ecologists use Bray-Curtis, but have a look to compare what's the power of Jacquard, Bray-Curtis, and other according to what you need. For example, jacquard is less sensitive to species that are rare, for example. But if you don't know, don't write. You will have Bray-Curtis. Otherwise, have a look deeply. But now it's just an introduction, so I don't want to disturb you too much. So ordination, meta MDS, meta multidimensional scaling. Let's have a look. Okay, interesting. But if we develop ord, what is ord? Okay, it's only 2 dimensions and we have a stress, stress type, etc. What is stress? Okay, it's something important here is to check if your 2 dimensions are representative to your multidimensional cloud. Okay, and here I wrote to you a rule of thumb. When you have a stress, you need a weak stress. Here it's very nice. If you have a stress less than 0.2, you are very nice. It's okay. Okay, so 0.2 start to be nice, and if you have even a weaker, lower, close to 0, you have an excellent representation in 2 dimensions. Okay, now if you ask to plot your ordination and you ask to have the text, Control R, you'll have that. Okay, elephant, canoe, everything are here. Obviously, you can see that here they don't share any species. Here you have only cow, pigs, dogs, goats, and here you have only lion, elephant, zebra. So, it was not very necessary to do this kind of analysis to check. But artificially, I will add here some dogs over there. Let's say we found some dogs. Unfortunately, we saw some cattle in the park. Not nice. Again, here also 2, and also some dogs wandering, for example. So you see now we have some species in common in the agro system and into the national park nearby. Okay, now I will save that in Ngorongoro 2 or even 3, but it's 2. Yeah, replace it please. Okay. Then let's have a look. So here I ask Ngorongoro 2, Control R. Data. Okay, I can check quickly. I have some cows in my park and dogs. Cool. Then don't forget to have again data frame. Okay. Voila. Now I do my ordination again. The stress will be a bit different. Oh yeah. 0.6. Okay, cool. And 0.06. Okay. And then if I ask to plot, now you can see it become interesting. Here in red you have the factor species. In black you have the 12 transects. And here we can understand that we have a cloud of dots that are your transect into Ngorongoro National Park. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the first agrosystem mixed a bit with number 2, agrosystem 2. But it's closer. We don't have a neat piece of dots. Now it's spread. Here I can show that we'll gather them. Okay, and let's find the barycenter of your cloud, of the group park, of the group agro 1 and agro 2. So for that you have to explain that site is actually agro 1, 2, 3 is this column. It's the column 2. Okay. Then you ask ordi ellipse of ord, your ordination, according to the site you want the standard error around the barycenter with a confidence interval of 0.94, and let's have a look. This is the thickness 1, and now we have the barycenter of my site in park, my site agro 1 and agro 2, the reverse. If I do Ordi spider, I link all my transect to the barycenter of your site. Means that if you do another transect in the park, for example, you will probably be in this cloud, in this area. 95% sure you will be around this barycenter. Plus minus, this is a standard error. Okay, so let's put some color gold, orange, green. Okay, and then let's change according to the color. So I show it to you over there. So Ordi ellipse sites, now we want again the standard error around the barycenter, and we want the color col. Voila, so green, and for yellow the two agro system. Ordi spider, again it's better, linking all the sites, and here I can show it to you. Here we have the point, so you can show the point of the species according to the site. Sorry, you can put even species according to the species. Okay, not very nice, but it's just to show you that you can write a lot of things. You can do you can draw the polygon around your barycenter, but now it's 90% of your standard error around the barycenter. Here you can put the hole, which is which groups all your transects. Okay, means that all your transect will be here. Okay, in this hole. You can also display the text, so display the species or display the sites in black, for example, and you can see the number of the sites and the species. Okay, but to be nice, I will honestly what I do is just this. I add the ellipse around. No, in color it's better. Ellipse in color, or the spider, and then you can see the barycenter. Okay, and I add a legend. Always put the legend of the stress. Okay, to check, to show to your publics what is the stress, what is the representativity of your multidimensional point only in 2 dimensions, because those two axes are no metric dimensional scaling. Okay, so there is no real I lose my word, 0, 0, 5, etc., etc. So it's just here the barycenter of all your species. Okay, and here the best explanation of this multidimensional scaling are from axis 1, axis 2. Okay, and even change axis 3, but here you explain most of the dispersal of your dots. Okay, but you have to write the stress. The stress is over there. Jacquard, but it's not Jacquard, it's Bray-Curtis by default. Here, Bray-Curtis. So again, so I put my ordination, ellipse in color, it's better. I can put the legend here of agrosystem 1, agrosystem 2, and the park, and then you can recon what is here. And don't forget to write the method of scaling, Bray-Curtis, and the stress 0.1. actually it was 0.6, which is good. It's a good representation. Okay, and here you have a representation of the community of 3 ecosystems. We can see that agro 1, agro 2 is quite similar, okay, with overlap. And here there is a big distance because elephant, zebra, gnu are totally distant from goat, cow, etc. We can see that dog is closer, but it's not enough to be representative of this community. Okay, if I add, we can change, and I will show you the difference. If I have a lot of dogs, actually, here, also here in common, they will probably be closer here. I'll show it to you. It will be explicit. Let's add, why not, a lion here to show you how it became more complicated, but still we can see that it's another ecosystem over there, another community, and here it's another community. So I will save it as Ngorongoro 3, okay, as a text. Okay, yes. Then I load my new data, Control R, data, okay. I have some lions here, perfect. Again, my data frame. I do my ordination, my new ordination. The stress will be still good, 0.08, and then I plot. Aha! You see the dog is closer now. The lion is closer too. And if we do the ellipse around, to see, the dog. You see, the dog is a bit bastard. Is between both. It is not representative to. I add the legend to agro 1, agro 2, okay, and neither to the park. Zebra, gnu, elephant are quite cool, they are over there. Lions, you can see escaping now because we found some lions in agro 2. Pigs, goats, cows are quite okay, but you can see. So cow, why cow is more on the north from agro 1, because if you remember, here we have a lot of cows comparatively to this one. So cows disturb your cloud of points and stretch your cloud, okay? Because this species, this factor, change a bit the dimension, the spreading of your sites according to the factor cause. Okay, so I know it's not very easy to understand, but at least I hope you understood a bit. Read again, watch again the video, read about NMDS in the link that I left you. NMDS is one way to do ordination of your community according to the species, to the factor. There is other techniques, okay, but I think it's a good introduction to do NMDS first, and later we can see other techniques. Okay, I will show you another example with insect or another data frame, just for you to be clear. Okay, I hope it was simple, a simple example, over exaggerated, but I hope at least it's talkative. Whew. Bye.